All right, so it helps if we turn on the... All right, so welcome everybody. We are looking at eXp Realty, and we're going to look at everything you absolutely need to know about eXp. So we're going to start off with the history, making sure that you're able to hear me okay, first and foremost. There we go. There we go. So the microphone needs to be on for it to work. All right. All right, so welcome everybody. We are looking at eXp Realty in detail. We're going to look at everything you need to know. So let's start off with the history. eXp was founded in 2009. That's when it was first birthed out into the world. And we're not going to go through the entire timeline today. I think there's I'm just going to point out very important things that you might find of importance to you. So in 2012, we see that eXp Realty launches in Canada. So that was a big monumental movement, given that in 3 years, eXp Realty achieved a breakthrough into another country. So that's something that is highly unusual, to say the least. So in 2015, eXp launches the Agent Equity and Icon Agent Program. So that's going to be very important for us as we visit another part of eXp's history and another part of eXp's value proposition for you. Now, something to note here in 2018 is that eXp World Holdings joins the NASDAQ. So this means that eXp is publicly traded and allows agents, every single agent, whether it's brand new or been with the company for 10 years, to participate in being an owner into the company. That's not something that you can say about really any other brokerage to date. And as of 2021, eXp exceeds 67,000 agents. Now, at the time of this recording, it's in 2022, and there's over 85,000 agents strong that have joined eXp. All right, let's back up for a quick second and look at what is eXp. eXp Realty is the first cloud-based brokerage. So this is, if you've seen some other brokerages out there that are all making their claim online, well, it was actually eXp that birthed that movement. So the first brokers to ever do that. eXp allows agents to become true owners and equity shareholders. This again is one of the first, if not the first, brokers to ever do that for its agents. Now, something very important to note is that eXp Realty is not a franchise. eXp is a singular company that operates as one. So regardless if you're in another state or even in the same city, there's no such thing as a different franchise. So this is a one company for all. This is not, of course, a local brick and mortar location. Now, the reason we're going to explain the brick and mortar locations that you see right now, if you were to go to Google Maps and type in eXp Realty, you will see some brick and mortar locations that were either at one point another brokerage, so they were with the franchise owner that ended up renouncing that franchise, whether that's Century 21, whether that's Keller Williams, or that's X, Y, and Z. They let go of that brokerage in order to align with eXp. So since they already had the commercial space, they went ahead and kept it and rolled into eXp. So that's one scenario. Another scenario is those individuals that would like to have a physical location. It's not necessary, it's not mandatory, because they can operate everything on the cloud, such as support, reaching out to brokers, getting the training, getting all that fun stuff. But they found value and wanted to actually open up a brick and mortar location. So when you type in eXp Realty near me in Google My Business, you're going to see brick and mortar locations, but just know that those are not corporately owned. Presently, I need to update this slide. Presently, there's over 85,000 agents as a part of eXp Realty. Something very important, mission critical, is that there's no property management done by eXp. So if you have a property management book of business, it's going to depend on the state, but most likely you're not going to be able to, well, let me backtrack. You're not going to be able to do property management, period. But in some states, you are allowed to keep a book of business of property management with another brokerage and do your sales at eXp. However, not all states allow that. So you can't be dual in multiple brokerages. So just have that awareness. So if you're doing property management, chances are that you're not going to be able to, well, let me rephrase that. There's scenarios in which property management can be done in tandem with another brokerage as you do your sales at eXp, but that's not the case everywhere. something that always comes up and is very important to cover is the commissions. What does that look like at eXp? Well, the commissions at eXp are 80-20. 80% for the agent, 20% for the brokerage until you cap at $16,000. So what does that mean in sales volume? That means that if you sell 2.66 million in sales volume and charge your client a 3% commission, that means that you will have earned a gross commission of $80,000, which 16,000 of that will go to eXp Realty, and the remainder 64 stays for you. So that's the break-even point, quote unquote, of reaching your cap. Beyond that, anything that you go and accomplish beyond that is a 100% commission for the remainder of the anniversary year, meaning that you're no longer under a company split. At that point, you're only paying a cap transaction fee. So after you go on and cap, again, the cap is $16,000 that goes into eXp. Once you go on to cap, after that, your transactions are going to be a $250 transaction fees. And that too is capped. So after you go on and do 20 more transactions after capping, then the transaction fee gets reduced down to $75. So in some cases, as you continue to go and do transactions, let's just say it took you 10 transactions to cap, and then you go on and do 20 more transactions. So that's 30 transactions for that year. On transaction 31, whether it's a $10,000 commission or a $100,000 commission, you're paying $75 as far as the actual fees go. So just a little bit more about that. And we're going to look at why it's so important and why the whole cap transaction fee itself has a cap of $5,000. You're going to see what that looks like in terms of equity and the Icon Agent program, which we'll explore in the following slides. Now let's talk about the standard cost. As you're joining, it's $149 startup fee. So when you join eXp, you're going to pay $149 as your startup fee. They're moving forward every single month. It's going to be an $85 cloud brokerage fee. So regardless if you sell 0 transactions or 100 transactions, it's an $85 a month cloud brokerage fee. So that is baked in the cake. That is something that you're going to be paying that come heck or high water. That's your monthly fee. That has nothing to do with the transactions. So that's your fixed cost. Now what's going to be more variable is going to be as you have transactions, these next two fees, along with the split that we already talked about, that is contingent upon a transaction happening. It's going to be a $25 broker review. And then you're also going to have a $40 risk management fee, commonly referred to as E&O. Now that $40 transaction, that $40 risk management fee does cap at $500. So basically 13 transactions or so. So all this to say, let's just say you have your first transaction at eXp. It's an $85 a month monthly fee. Again, whether you have 0 transactions or not, you're paying $85. But let's say you have your first transaction. Well, then you're going to factor in the commission split. In this case, it's 80-20, as you can see. You take that commission split out of it, and then you also subtract the $25 for the broker review and $40 for the risk management fee that you are subtracting from the commissions. Now, something important that is often overlooked, so I want to make sure that you understand the special perks that you now have access to. As far as personal transactions go, you get 3 of them per year, meaning if you're purchasing a home, or whether it's an investment home or your primary residence, whatever the case may be, if it's a personal transaction, you don't have to pay a split on that regardless of where you're at. So if it happens to be your 4th transaction through your year and you haven't capped yet, you don't have to pay an 80-20 split. You can use a personal transaction, which is a transaction fee of $250. You can have up to 3 personal transactions per year, and that resets every year. So if you're an investor, eXp is the place that you have to be at, given that other brokerages out there, they'll charge you the entire commission split. They'll charge you full fees, even though it's your own transaction. Now, the minimum company dollar, if you have a friends and family discount, you can run your business how you want. If for whatever reason when you want to sell a house for free or charge $0 to your clients, well, you technically can't do that under eXp, but you can make it much more tangible for your friends or family or whoever you want to give a discount. As long as eXp receives the minimum company dollar of $500, you can sell that home for basically $0. So again, if you want to run your business such as, hey, I'll sell your house for free, or quote unquote free, or sell your house for $500, but you have to use me on the purchase, you're able to do that. There's no real restraints outside of just having the minimum company dollar, and your family would absolutely thank you for that. So those are special perks that are not done by most other brokerages out there, so we need to call attention to them. Now let's talk about some equity. Let's talk about the ownership that agents now have access to. Remember, eXp was the one that pioneered this. This means that as you join eXp and as you're doing what you're doing already, which is selling homes, you are receiving equity into eXp. So there's 5 ways to earn equity. There's 5 ways to earn shares. The first way is by doing your first transaction. So the moment that you make your first transaction at eXp, you receive equity. So you receive actual ownership into the company. So that's huge. The second way is by you earn shares when you fully cap. So when you go on to cap at eXp, which again, as a reminder, is $16,000, you receive equity into the company. Now, the moment that an agent that you sponsor into eXp, the moment they make their first sale, you receive equity as well. So what you're seeing here is that as transactions are happening, as homes are being sold, as business is being conducted, you're receiving equity for something you were going to do anyway. You're a real estate agent, you're selling homes, you're expecting commission. Well, here you have access to that immediately. And again, it's something that you don't have to pay a franchise fee for. It's not something you need to buy into. These are already available to you. So just to give you a bit more clarity on that, when you make your first transaction, you're receiving $200 worth of equity. So depending on how much the stock is at that point in time, we'll divide $200 by however much the stock is at that time. That's how many shares you're getting. The second way, again, when we talked about when you're fully capped, that's $400 in equity. And then when an agent that you sponsor closes their first transaction, you receive another $400 for your efforts there. Now, we referenced the Icon Agent Award a couple of minutes ago, and you are able to earn up to $16,000 in stock upon achievement of certain production and cultural goals within your anniversary year. So what does this mean? This means that when you go on to cap, after that, if you do 20 more transactions, this goes back to the whole $5,000 in transaction cap that then gets reduced down. Once you cap and go on to do 20 more transactions, that means that you will have iconed at eXp. And what that means for you is that you're able to earn up to $16,000 back in the form of equity. Remember, you paid $16,000 in order to cap anyway. Now, given that you're such a high volume producer, given such that you're bringing so much to the company, now you're getting up to $16,000 back in the form of stock. So $8,000 of that $16,000 gets issued to you pretty much on the spot, on the nose, for having done that level of business. $4,000 will then get issued to you for the cultural goals. So meaning you participate in icon panels, you become a mentor, or you do something else that's considered, there's a list of these things, by the way, list of cultural goals that you need to accomplish. And so that's another $4,000. So now we're up to $12,000. And then the other $4,000 is divided up into our 2 company events. So we have a eXp shareholders event, and then we have an eXp con event. So there's 2 national events that if you participate in those by simply going, you get a $2,000 per each event. So that is a way for you to stay engaged, a way for you to network, a way for you to continue to grow when you have your Icon Agent Gala that you get to go to, right? So this gives you a huge opportunity, a huge incentive to not only be productive, which is what you're going to do anyway, but also earn stock along the way. All right, so the Agent Equity Program, you can enroll to be paid 5% of every transaction commission with stock at a 10% discount. This means that you can allocate 5% of the commission that you're earning every single transaction. You can allocate that to purchase stock at a 10% discount, which gives you an edge on Wall Street, given that you're already part of the company. So you can purchase stock at a discount if you so choose. That is optional. You don't have to do it. All right, so we've talked about two revenue streams: the commission, which is you selling homes. That's something you're going to be doing anyway. And we talked about the revenue. I'm sorry, we talked about the stock. We talked about the equity that you have access to at eXp. Now we need to get into our third revenue stream, which is a revenue share. So let's read at the top. eXp's revenue share plan is one way that eXp rewards its agents for attracting new agents to join eXp. Simply, an eXp agent can sponsor a new agent to join eXp. So, although it's not required, an agent can sponsor another agent to join eXp. Again, that's not required that you do that, and also it's not a requirement that an agent name a sponsor. They don't have to name a sponsor at all. But let's continue. Once the new agent begins closing on transactions, the sponsor receives a percentage of the company revenue from the sales activity of their sponsored agent until their annual commission cap of $16,000. So remember that the split is 80-20 at eXp. So 80% for the agent, 20% for the brokerage. It's from that 20%, which is, again, that direct reflection of where the let's read the last part. So an important note, eXp pays that share, not the agent. It takes from the 20% adjusted gross commission income received by eXp and is paid to the sponsor agent monthly. So this means that once you sponsor an agent, as they're doing transactions throughout their course of their career and through that year, up until the point that they cap, you're receiving a percentage of that commission, but not from the agent's side, which is the agent again gets an 80% split. It's from the 20% side that goes to eXp. So you're not digging into any agent's pockets. So you're gonna see the breakdown of what that looks like here on this slide. So what this looks like when it comes to revenue share, the maximum potential revenue share that you can receive per agent, at least that you personally sponsor, so that's the top row that you see, the tier 1, is up to $2,800. So this means that if you sponsor one agent, you receive $2,800 if they go on the cap for that year. Now, if you sponsor 5 agents and they're all on your tier 1, meaning you personally sponsor those agents, then each one of those would be a $2,800 times 5. If they all go on the cap. Remember, capping at eXp would essentially mean selling $2.66 million in sales volume at a 3% commission split, commission. All right, so the beauty of this model, the beauty of the reason that revenue share is throwing out some incredible payouts every single month. Again, this is something that you're free to pursue if you would like. No, you don't have to do this. You don't have to sponsor a soul if you don't want to. But the beauty of this is that if those agents that you sponsor personally, if they go on to sponsor an agent themselves, well, you're also benefiting from that sponsorship. So if the agent that you sponsor goes on to sponsor another agent, well, that agent that was sponsored by your agent, let's call it agent B, or agent 2 in this case, if they go on to cap, you can receive up to $3,200 as well from that agent that was sponsored, and so on and so on and so on. So you see the maximums of those tiers. So you can find yourself having sponsored 5 agents personally yourself, and then they went off and was sponsored themselves because they wanted to pursue this more actively than you. You can find yourself with revenue share organizations into the hundreds, into the thousands. So many of my personal connections, my personal friends, are actually in the multiple thousand category already and are generating a sizable amount of monthly recurring revenue in the form of revenue share. So again, you don't have to do this. It doesn't cost you anything to do this. It doesn't cost you any more or less in terms of you paying fees or anything like that. But here it's an opportunity for you to explore a different revenue stream that you were going to do anyway. So if a friend, if a confidant, or someone that you value is getting into real estate and are asking, hey, which brokerage are you joining? Well, if you're fond of your brokerage and are enjoying your brokerage and the brokerage is bringing value to you, you would naturally invite them to join that brokerage. The difference is that in the previous model with the other brokerages, you don't get rewarded for that. You don't get a benefit from that. Here, you're getting a direct benefit from it. You didn't have to take it, but you have the option to. So that's what revenue share looks like. Now, one of the questions that comes up, and I get this all the time since I've sponsored hundreds of agents at this point, is a team situation. So you're not going to see it on this particular slide here, but if you are a husband and wife and you're both agents and are working together, you can do what's called a domestic partnership team. So the domestic partnership means that husband and wife, you have to be legally married. Under a domestic partnership, you can work towards one cap. You're going to have that $16,000 cap as one. You're working as a unit, as one, if you will. So that's one type of team. Now that doesn't fit everybody, of course. Not everyone is a husband and wife working together, but that's one type. The second type is a self-organized team. This gives you the most flexibility. This gives you the most amount of latitude on how you want to move and operate. Where you have a reduced cap for team members. Where you don't have a reduced cap for team members. Where you don't have a minimum referral percentage required to the team leader, meaning if you create the self-organized team, there's no minimum referral percentage required for you to take from the agents. There's no team agreement that needs to be in writing with the eXp approval. Now, you will want to have a team agreement with the agent himself, but you don't have to get it into eXp for approval. Now, you are going to need to provide a team roster to eXp so they know who is who's with who, right? So under the self-organized team, you get the most latitude. You get the most most flexibility. Under the standard team, there's a bit more requirements, not only to create one, but also how to operate. So here, and benefits. So here, you can offer a half cap for your team members. So remember, the cap is $16,000. Under the standard team, you can offer an $8,000 cap to your team members. Now, under this standard team model, though, there is a minimum referral percentage required to the team leader. So it's 25% that's required to be sent to the team leader come heck or high water. So that's the minimum referral required, that your agent, if you're the team leader, they have to pay you and compensate you. The team agreement is required in writing with eXp's approval, and you do need to provide a team roster, same as before. But there is a requirement here that you need to have at least $6 million in sales and 30 closed transactions in the previous 12 months. That's a requirement. So again, if you're going to start a standard team, you need to have at least a minimum of $6 million or 30 transactions in the previous 12 months of sales. So now let's get into the mega icon team. So think of the standard team, but just bigger. So with the mega icon team, you get to do a reduced quarter cap for your team members. So this means that now your team members can join you and partner with you for a $4,000 cap. They don't have to pay a $16,000 cap. The minimum referral percentage required to the team leader is still the same. It's a minimum of 25% paid to you as a referral. The team agreement is also required to be approved by eXp. The team roster is also required and provided to eXp. And here the production volume is 40 million in sales, 175 closed transactions, 10 capping team members in the previous 12 months. So there's a bit more requirements here. You see that there's a few more transactions and a few more millions in sales volume that are required in order to qualify for that mega icon team, right? So there's different ways that you can structure your teams. Now, what we end up doing here with when we bring brokerages over, we bring them into these structures, into teams. And in many cases, not only their agents better taken care of from training, support, and financials, but so is the team leader. So that's what we're seeing quite a bit. Healthcare, eXp is giving you access to affordable healthcare. So the eXp agent healthcare, that's actually the same healthcare that I am on, right? So it's something that I was with an independent company prior to joining eXp, but once I saw the plan and what it could do for me here at eXp, I ended up using this as my healthcare option. So whenever I got to go to the doctor, need surgeries, all that fun stuff, which I have had surgeries in the past, I'm very thankful for this particular option. This is not an option that many real estate agents, remember, we're independent contractors, many real estate agents get. So if you're looking for an affordable plan, at least give yourself the opportunity of checking out the healthcare plan just to compare. You don't have to go out and take it. You don't even have to join eXp to take a peek to see what that would look like. But once you do make the jump, you'll be better equipped to decide if this option for you when it comes to healthcare is really the best for you. Now, one of the things that we want to make note of is that eXp sells a lot of real estate. Now, this is actually even a bit outdated, but eXp Realty has been number one. eXp has ranked top 4 of several categories in the Elite 2022 Real Trends 500 report, being named the number 1 independent in the US, the number 1 mover in transactions, and the number 1 mover for sales volume over a 5-year period. So right now, when you take the transactions eXp is number 3 in the country. When you look at volume, eXp is number 4 in the country. So this is paired completely against those bigger brands that you're very familiar with, the Century 21s, the Remaxes, Coldwell Banker. Take all of those brokerages, and that's who we're competing against. And eXp is stacking up quite well, especially in the short amount of time. Remember, eXp has been around since 2009. Coldwell Banker has been around for over 100 years, and we've already closed the gap. Now, when it comes to partners, and this is very fluid, this will continue to grow and grow very quickly. There's a lot of partners that you have here at eXp, and the best way that I can explain it with the eXp partners that are being brought on, it's either you're making money by using these services or your clients using these services, or you're saving your clients some money, or you're saving money. That's the best way that I can explain it. All of these have their own place in your arsenal. Let's take home warranty as an example. Your clients get to benefit through that home warranty where they receive a high quality product and they save some money, and you are also the beneficiary of a referral fee from that home warranty if your buyers end up purchasing. That's huge. Let's take the agent education. So from the CE shop, you get a huge discount for all of your CE. So you're saving money in that case, right? So there's a lot of different partners here that you have access to that will either you're receiving money, so monetary benefit, or you're saving money. So nothing wrong with saving a little bit of money, or your clients are saving money, which is a huge benefit. And when it comes to technology, that's one of the biggest selling points that a lot of agents gravitate towards. One of the biggest reasons that agents end up joining is the technology. So you have eXp Enterprise. So at any point in time, you get to see what's going on in your business. You get to see the transactions closed. You get to have access to all of your marketing, all of your branding. You get access to your equity. You get access to your revenue share. You get access to your entire business. It's one place. It's one hub. You don't have to email someone asking, hey, what's my sales volume for the month? That's all taken care of. Now you have access to SkySlope. So this is, a lot of you are familiar with Dotloop. This is its rival, if you will. So SkySlope is a transaction management tool that you will use to submit all your documentation in order to get your commission paid out and make sure that everything is on the up and up, making sure that all your documents are in place. Workplace by Facebook. So it's a private community that only eXp agents have access to. You get access to Workplace. By you getting access to Workplace, you get access to everybody on the roster. All the agents, all the executives, all of the vendors. You are able to communicate with everybody in real time. So you don't have to wait for a phone book or a contact list or something like that, that very antiquated way of doing things. You get access to everybody on the spot. Your CRM and lead generation. So from a CRM and lead generation standpoint, you get access to KV Core. KV Core is your email autoresponder, your text autoresponder, your website, your landing page generator, your squeeze page generator. It is your entire tech package when it comes to generating and helping you generate business. So KV Core will either help you launch campaigns when it comes to marketing, or has vendors in the system itself that you can partner up with so you can grow your business. So KV Core is really the leading CRM at the moment and is already included in your monthly fee of $85 a month. If you were to try to get KV Core out in the wild, as I say, it would be over $400 a month. So that's a huge savings. Branding and marketing, you have all of the kits, have all of your kits ready to go. You just have to swap out your headshots and contact information, and you have modern templates that you can use for listing presentations, buyer presentations, anything that you need to do for your business. Now, something that is very important to cover is the sponsorship. Remember, you don't have to select a sponsor. That's not a thing. That's not something you have to do. But if you are going to select a sponsor, which I do encourage you to do it, there's really 4 types of sponsors out there. There's sponsors that will do nothing for you, meaning you put them down on paper as your sponsor and nothing happens. You're out there fending for yourself. There's 99% of agents are like that. I'm just being completely upfront with you. Now, there's agents that offer you education, meaning they provide value to you, they mentor you, they help you, they give you their knowledge and are guiding you along the way. Whether you're a brand new agent or an experienced agent, you have some mentorship, some education, something valuable. Now you have some more agents that will help you. So that's really, really awesome. Now there's also some sponsors out there that will give you some resources, such as scripts, such as funnels, such as this, that, or the other, something that they have personally created and share with you. So as to bring value to your business, because they know that when you're succeeding, they're going to succeed. So you have a few more agents that do that. And there's really not any that I'm aware of that have a done for you program like we do. So our group is the agent first group. So our agent first group, we do many of the things for you. So we do your lead generation for you. We do your marketing for you. We do your video editing for you. So when it comes to sponsorship, it really does matter who you go with, because that's going to be the level of involvement they're going to have in your business. So if you're naming a sponsor and you're in between sponsors, it's okay to ask what is in it for me, because at that point, it's important that you get partnered with the right person to help you succeed. We understand that real estate is not that easy to do. It may be simple, but it's not easy. Right? There's a lot of things that you won't know at the beginning, and even as you go, there's things that you won't know. So having a sponsor that not only helps you from an education standpoint, but gives you the resources and actually does things for you is super powerful. So that's actually the group that we have, and we're one of the fastest growing groups in eXp at the moment because of that involvement that we have with our agents. So if you'd like to explore what that looks like for you, feel free to check out the link down below where we linked up additional information about our sponsorship. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Outside of that, I'll see you on the next one.